Silence is an invisible force that often goes unnoticed, yet it carries a unique power, both in storytelling and everyday life. It's not just the absence of sound, but a distinct presence that speaks volume without uttering a word. This is what makes silence so powerful. It creates a space where the mind can linger, interpret, and feel. In movies, silence is one of the most impactful tools a filmmaker can use. For example, imagine a scene where two characters are having an argument, and one of them suddenly goes silent. That silence can be louder than shouting. It forces the audience to lean in, to wonder what emotions are bubbling beneath the surface. Silence allows tension to grow. Consider the stillness before a major battle in films like Lord of the Rings, or the eerie silence in a horror movie. These moments make the viewer sit with the character's emotions, amplifying the impact of what's about to happen, or what just did. The lack of sounds sharpens our focus, making us hyper-aware of every facial expression, every breath, every shift in body language. In everyday life, silence holds a similar power. For example, in a conversation, silence can mean many things. It can be a pause to reflect, a tool for creating suspense, or even a gesture of empathy. When someone shares something painful, staying silent instead of rushing to respond can show that you're truly listening. Silence gives weight to what was just said. It honors the moment instead of brushing it aside with a quick reply. Our brains are wired to notice silence because it's so rare in our noisy world. When things go quiet, we pay attention. This is why silence can feel uncomfortable. It forces us to face thoughts or emotions we might otherwise ignore. For instance, in relationships, the quiet moments shared with someone often feel more meaningful than words. Sitting in silence with a loved one can feel intimate because it shows that you're comfortable just being, without the need of constant validation through conversation. In a broader sense, silence is also a teacher. It allows us to reflect and gain clarity in a world filled with constant notification, distractions, and chatter. Silence becomes a moment to reset. It's in the quiet that we can truly hear ourselves, our thoughts, our fear, our creativity. For example, when you take a walk in silence or meditate, you often find ideas and solutions rising to the surface that you couldn't hear through the noise. Silence also sparks imagination. Our brains don't like uncertainty, and silence creates a vacuum that we instinctively want to fill. This is why silence in storytelling works so well. It allows the audience to project their own thoughts and feelings onto the screen, making it more personal and powerful. Ultimately, silence isn't just an absence, it's a presence. It's the presence of thought, emotion, and meaning. Whether it's used in a movie to create suspense or in everyday life to create connections, silence has a way of making us stop and feel. It teaches us that sometimes the most profound moments happen not when we speak, but when we embrace the stillness and let it speak for itself.